Do I see this to be a better time than previously? Yes. And let me tell you why. At this point in time, if you heard what Milford Brown said, we are the best brand in India, not in financial services, the best brand. Our balance sheet is not under strain. Our margins are intact, as you said. Our funding is fine. Our capital adequacy is at 16%. We have spent all our money on distribution. 50% of our distribution is in semi-urban and rural India, where 60% of India lives. And we are among the global leaders in digital banking. So when you take all of this into account and you see that the country is growing somewhere between 7.5 and 8, that is a great opportunity because we straddle the balance sheet and we are well positioned in the market. Semi-urban and rural India with digital and cutting-edge technology that we have taken there is growing twice as fast as urban India for us. And on digital, having talked and actually understood what fintech is and digital is, we are today in a position to offer the largest range of products in the most convenient manner at the best price point with the traditional backing of now. This sounds simple, but at a click of a button on your phone, because we have the mobile and we have everything. You can shop, you can buy a movie ticket, you can do your air tickets, you can get a discount, you can pay your bills.
I do all that, sir. I do all that with my HDFC Bank account. But I'll tell you where my doubt comes. I have covered you as a cub reporter. You were a 30% growth bank, and then you have now come towards the 20% mark. Now, some time back you told me that's because it's wise not to lend too much when the economy is slowing down. Is that period over, and now do we see you doing a slightly incrementally higher growth than you did the previous year, and then even more the next year?
See, like we said, we don't guide, but let me also...
I'm asking you a broad direction. Have you troughed out and are you rising?
Yes. And just to cover you, when we were doing 30%, India was also doing 10%. They do 10%, I'll do more than 30%. But our trajectory, like the country, is rising. We have got distribution. Remember, this is not easy feat. We've got distribution and products, Latha, in 60% of India where it's not there. We have the customer base for digital. Let me try and explain it like this. People can buy the apps, etc., etc. But if you try and make chicken without chicken curry, which is the customers, you make chicken curry without the chicken, it ain't going to work. So we are market leaders in everything on a real-time basis. We have used digital to convert that same leadership in terms of turnaround time, in terms of convenience, into the online world.
So back to 25% in a couple of years?
Definitely, why not? Depending upon, but the GDP has to also grow at more than 8%.
Let me come to another immediate issue, the FCNRB outflow. You all did a great job when it was a money-making time in 2013. How does it look now? Are you pretty confident that you will be able to pay back all the obligations?
The HDFC Bank is concerned, we have more than enough liquidity already with us to repay this obligation without sniffing.
Very glad to hear that. I'm sure the Reserve Bank also will be very glad to hear that.
We told them that also.
Okay. Well, let me come to the other possibility that the Reserve Bank has now created for you. You can raise money through masala bonds.
Yes.
Now, I know you all are not desperately looking for capital, but this is an amazingly stable currency and this is a new instrument. Does it attract you?
Yes, it attracts us. We are looking at the implications of withholding tax, but is it a great opening up? I think so. Not only for us, because if you notice, once the economy grows, we will need a lot of money. And foreigners, when they come in, if they can get an Indian yield on a fully hedged basis, it's like cherry on the cake. So I think it's very good.
Now I have two questions about the bunch of reforms that was announced by the Reserve Bank on the corporate bond and the large exposure themes. First, corporate bond market. If corporate bonds are accepted as collateral and the whole process plays through, how do you see that market in a year, in 2 years? Has Godot finally arrived?
I think, no, I wouldn't agree with that. I think it's a good step. We made progress from before. But till we have an arbitrage-free yield curve, till we have issuance across the entire maturity, till the government borrows less, till we have forwards, till we have consequently enough investors. Just now, you say bond, he's issued a bond. Who's buying the bond? Ultimately, it's the bank, no? So when they are actual people and there's trading and the nexus between the bond currency and derivative markets develop, then let me preempt your question, that's when the cost of capital for India will come down.
One is expecting that the other pieces like the IRDA changing norms for investment will all follow. But before that, let me come to the large exposure question. Basically, what are your comments that people with debt over 25,000 crores from the banking system cannot borrow incrementally except at a higher price, and then the number goes to 10,000 crore? How do you read that rule?
No, I think we must look at why they're saying that. They're saying we need a development of a debt market, and as a natural corollary, if there is a debt market, then the high-rated corporates should go to the debt market so that there's enough money lent to the SME and the others. So I think it's a welcome step.